Hello guys, my name is NaToSaphiX, and today we have another video, and this time it is how to better hold angles. Now, holding angles in CSGO is definitely an art, and everybody keeps talking about the peeker's advantage and all this stuff, but you will end up in situations where you will, be forced to actually hold an angle, and it's oftentimes on CT side or on T side when you have the bomb planted and you're, awaiting the incoming push from the CTs trying to retake the bomb site. Now, if you're watching this video expecting your mind to be blown, well, it's best to just leave immediately, as honestly, this is not going to be a tip that's going to blow your mind. It is not very advanced in the sense that it's not, if you just logically think about this, it is very, very easy to actually, figure out why it works and so on. It is a very simple tip, but it's something that has helped me massively, and since holding angles is probably one of my weak points, compared to my general skill level, I thought that I'd make a video about holding angles and share some of the knowledge that I have, obtained during the last few months, where I've kind of been working on getting better at holding angles. Now, it's not rocket science, but it's definitely something that I think can help anybody. Now, what I do is that, for example, here on A long, now it's not really an angle I hold too often, but if I were to play A long, what you want to be thinking about is, do I want to hold this angle where I'm expecting someone to peek either with a shoulder peek, or someone who is going to peek me with an AWP, or somebody who's going to peek me with a rifle, for example, or even a deagle if that's your thing, or do I want to hold a wider angle where I think they're just going to be pushing out? Now, the whole thing on long starts with you kind of predicting whether or not the T's are going to flash. If they're not going to flash, well, you might as well run like this, go out and peek. If the T's are going to flash, well, a lot of long players like to play it like this, running up with their backs turned, and then usually getting some kind of pop flash from their teammates. Now, what I want to be kind of highlighting here is the fact that if you are an AWPer holding an angle, or even a rifle holding an angle, I honestly wouldn't advise you to hold this angle with a rifle, especially not at the start of rounds, because if they are going to be rushing through, it's going to be hard for you to land any shots, and it's also going to be hard for you to actually get out. Now, if you are here with an AWP, you want to be thinking about, am I going to be meeting an AWP? Am I going to be meeting a rifle who's going to be peeking me? Is there a deagle going to be peeking me? Is the guy just going to be shoulder peeking? Asking yourself these questions is key. Simply ask yourself the question, what do I expect? What do you expect from holding this angle? Do you expect them to have pistols? It's always nice to know if your opponents are on eco or not. And it's all about knowing how the money system in CSGO works. Now, that is something that a lot of other players can probably tell you about, other YouTubers, or there's actually a very good picture for, the money system that I think Vacam, I don't know if I pronounced the name correctly, but they made back in the day, or at least released. But simply ask yourself the question, what do I expect? If you expect them to be on pistols, well, you could hold kind of an off angle here, where if they like push out, then you've got a very easy shot. They're going to be running straight into your crosshair. Simply click, and you've got a kill. Now, since the pistols, they're probably not going to kill you very quickly, so you should be able to land this shot and then jump away. If they're P250s, for example, what are the odds, even if they are 5, that they're going to be just headshotting you twice and you dying before you can make this jump? Now, if you're going to be meeting rifles that are going to push out, maybe you shouldn't take such a wide angle here. Maybe you should just hold a tight angle, something like this, where you can still get the shot off, but you can also more easily rotate away. It's then still a harder shot, as they can, shoulder peek this very common angle, which you're just standing in one of the most common angles for AWPers to play on long. If they are AWPers, what you want to be doing is you want to take a narrow angle so that the guy has the least amount of space to miss his shot. If the guy has an AWP in here, and he thinks you're going to be on the corner. This is something that a lot of AWPers actually do, is they're going to be going out, and they're going to be pre-firing, something like this. Now, I have no clue whether or not there actually is a guy there, especially because I slightly clipped the wall, but you could do something like this and try to, pre-fire the angles. And you will be getting shots off, you will be getting, hopefully, kills, if that's what you want to be doing. Now, if you want to make sure that the guy inside of Longhouse has the least amount of chance of hitting his shot, You want to pick the narrowest of angles possible, but with still, where you still have 100% chance to actually hit the shot. What I mean with this is that you don't want to pick an angle like this, as the AWP does have a bit of inaccuracy, and while it looks like there is a gap, and there is, your AWP might be a bit inaccurate and might hit the wall, which will then not give you the kill. So that's why I don't want to pick such a narrow angle. Something like this is usually good. And then if he peeks out, you'll be able to most likely hit his whole body, as he's not going to be... It's very rare that someone would, at least at a higher skill level, go out and peek like this with an AWP. That's very stupid, because all of this way where he's running here, he can get naded, he can get shot by a rifle or whatever. But that's why he's most likely going to be peeking something like this and trying to pre-fire that spot. So if you pick a narrow angle like this, then what you're basically not allowing him to is have a very good chance at actually killing you, but at the same time, you have the same chance at killing him, as he's going to be peeking this angle no matter what. So thinking about what you can expect from the people who are pushing you when holding this angle changes the way you should be holding the angle, which is what I'm trying to kind of get across here. Now, it's the same thing you need to be asking yourself when you're going to try to counter a guy holding an angle. And the reason being that, let's say we've got a scenario here where we have a guy on long, we have some guy playing B, we have me playing short, and we're versus X amount of players. There's only 20-30 seconds left on the clock, so then we know that they're going to be hitting a bomb site soon enough. And it's very unlikely that they've, you know, slow walked all the way through CT spawn and they're going to be popping up here. I don't think that ever really happens. Maybe in movies. But what you could be doing is, if you think someone's holding an angle here, or here, which are very common angles, I guess you could even hold down here, which some people do, to hold this angle. If you want to find out if there's anybody there, what you could be doing is, with only 20-30 seconds left, what you want to be doing is you want to be clearing your area, and then if there's nobody here, well, you know, they're going to probably not hit through short, so you can rotate to either long or you can rotate to B, which makes, you know, it makes it a lot easier if you're two guys on B trying to withstand the push, or two guys on long. So what you want to be doing is you want to clear your area if you can, but obviously you don't want to die, because if you die and they are here, they're going to be taking the site for free. So what you could be doing is, if they don't know whether or not you are here, there are two possibilities. Either there's a guy here, or whatever, whichever angle he has, ready and trying to hold your angle. But with only 20 seconds, they're probably not going to be holding angles for long. So they're going to be, you know, they're going to be slow walking up to the site, or just, you know, trying to push. And if they push, you can probably hear, you can do whatever, get out, or you can shake the battle. But if they're slow walking up, you want to make sure to clear this angle. So what you could be doing is, you could be throwing an underhand pop flash like this, then peeking out and going back in. What this kind of does is that you go out and peek quickly, and there are two possibilities, as I just tried to say before. Either there is nobody here, and you've cleared an angle for free. You know all of this area is free. You don't know about mid, because you obviously can't see that, but you know there's no one coming up short, because with only 20 seconds left, they're not going to be running up short now. So you've cleared out this area for free, meaning that you can now rotate over to one of your mates and greatly strengthen the defense there. Or the other possibility, someone is here who is most likely not going to be holding, you know, a tight angle like this, but more likely is slow walking, or even running in this case, where he's not going to be ready to one-tap you when you peek out with this very small white peek. You can even do it with a knife. Peek out, go back in. It's not going to take long for you to actually peek this angle. That's what I'm trying to get across. So what he does is he sees you, then he focuses on this angle, then the pop flash comes through, and he's totally blinded. You can make it back safely to the side, and with only 20 seconds left, they're probably, you know, going to make another decision, go down into mid because they know you're there, and then they're going to be battling people here, and then the guy B. And the guy B already knows that they're probably coming mid. So this greatly strengthens the defense on both sides, simply because you got that small piece of information. Now, say you've battled one of these players and there's maybe more time on the clock. I would advise someone to battle and then keep battling on short. It's a very hard area to actually battle like this. But let's say there's more time on the clock and you still want to take a battle for some reason. If they know you're here, what you want to be doing is you want to be throwing that same pop flash, but instead of wide peeking, you want to just go out far enough to show your shoulder, like this, so they can see that someone's here. They're going to be once again focusing on this angle because they know someone's here and you might pop up any instant. They're going to be flashed by the pop flash, and then you can go out and take the battle if you wanna. So then you can go out, shoot some heads, and it should be easy work. Now it's the same if you're kind of trying to push a guy holding an angle. This would mostly be if you're a terrorist. It could be throwing a pop flash like this, and then you could shoot with your rifle before the flashbang goes off. So something like this, shoot and then turn around and push. Now it's once again making sure that the player who's playing short or holding an angle on you kind of gets enough information so that he's focused on locking down this angle and knowing, oof, someone could be here. That single shot tells him someone's coming, so he's going to be focusing on this angle, and if a pop flash then comes through, he's totally blinded. Now, I decided to address this in this video as well, because a lot of players, mostly low-skilled players of course, ask me a lot, why do people shoot before the flash pops? And it's simply to actually give a piece of information that the CT player doesn't want. It's kind of like poker, where, you know, you're trying to maybe, let's say you're playing a proper poker tournament at an event, and you're maybe trying to have a tell that you do every single time, but in fact it's actually, you know, it's one you do on purpose so that you can fake it if you know, if that's what you want. So let's say you're scratching your nose every time you get good cards. The other players might pick up on this, and then you could fake it. You're kind of giving them valuable information which is false. So by shooting, you're telling him, hey man, I'm here. Then he's like, holy shit man, I'm so ready to kill you. Then the flash comes through, he's totally blind, and then, you know, in this area or this spot, it's easy for him to fall down, but still he's in a very disadvantageous position now, having to click heads while going up the ramp, and still he could probably get flanked from long or whatever. So I hope this kind of made sense. It's not the most advanced tip, and yet I spent quite some time actually talking about why I think it's very useful, but simply asking, when holding an angle, what do I expect? Do I expect them to peek me, or do I expect them to go out? And the same if you're trying to counter a guy holding an angle, what do I expect? Does he know I'm here? Does he not know I'm here? Do I want to give him phase trick shots? Do I want to give him false information whether or not I am here and stuff like this? So hope you have enjoyed the video, guys. Please leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you haven't. My name is NaToSaphiX, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Kiss kiss baby. So I have a quick clip that I'd like to show you guys. It's a quite old one. It's about 2 months old from when I played Epiphany, and I'm in a position where I kind of need to clear my way out. They don't know where I am, so I'm wide peeking, and I just felt that this was a very appropriate example to plot in at the end of this video.
Upside. 2 guys upside, AVP, bomb.
Emo 2 nu, mand.